Hello, friends. I hope you had a nice break away from schoolwork and deadlines this last week. We had some awesome weather. I spent some good time outside doing some gardening, going for walks, doing some yoga. It was pretty cool. So I just want to fill you in on this week because I know you're already going to be confused. So let me do some preemptive explanations. Hopefully it will cover a little bit of your confusion, but I'm sure there'll be other things you'll need to ask me. This is your journal document for this week. At the top, something that I've added that I was doing with my other classes is the materials that you're going to need. So at the top it has the slideshow, the essay prompt, research note cards, and collaborative pool of philosophers. So at the beginning of this week, for Monday and Tuesday, you're just going to be finishing off what we were doing before break. So on Friday, before break, you all turned in your modern philosopher slideshow. I shouldn't say you all turned it in. Many of you did. There were still several missing. However, so you're going to go to this document. It's a Voss's class. It looks like this. It looks like your other peer teaching note taker, except for it says modern philosophers here. That's how you'll distinguish between them. Make a copy of it. Put your name where it says Master Copy Voss. Share it with me. This is not, I had lots of questions about this. This is not submitted to Google Classroom. You will be using this doc and the one you made before break when you're writing your essay. It is a research collection place. So that you have a place to go to kind of clarify what you were thinking about these philosophical ideas. So I have inserted in here all of these slideshows that I received last Friday before break. So go ahead and read through them, even if there are multiples. That's always good to see if people have more information, so you should be looking at all of those. I mean, if it's just saying the same thing, you don't have to repeat it over here, but you can still scan through it. And I just show this reference, first and sixth, is either first or sixth period that it came from. So that's just mostly for me. So do that Monday and Tuesday. That's what's happening. You don't have and then on Tuesday, at the end of all of that, there is a step 3, and it says, in the box below, answer the following questions. So among the ancient philosophers and the modern philosophers, which ideas did you agree with the most? Which philosophies really spoke to you or made you think? In the box below, write 5 to 8 sentences explaining how you connected to the ideas you just explored. That's when you're going to go back to those note takers and kind of see what you thought. A couple of them to me, always speak to me. Existentialism really speaks to me. Pragmatism really speaks to me. This is truly you're like, whoa, I totally thought that for a long time. But, this really super smart dude or lady from a long time ago also thought that. So now you have someone who's validating it, and it's actually a thing that's taught and studied in colleges. So essentially it's giving, what I love about this unit is it gives labels and credence to our own beliefs by showing us that lots of other super smart people have studied them before. So this gives you a chance to kind of see where you're sitting on those philosophies and which ones are resonating with you. And you should care. You should care about it somehow. And I'm sure many of you do, which is great. Wednesday, you're going to have the introduction to the philosophical response assignment, which is called a philosophical treatise. So the prompt here, it's not supposed to be confusing, but I think for some reason it always comes out confusing, and I need to explain it. So what you have to do is put these big questions here. And these were the questions, actually, when we finished Oedipus, that Oedipus unit that I was asking you to explore with Oedipus, because Sophocles was also talking about these things, how we can be happy, what is human nature, do we have obligations or responsibilities for others or society, like, does life have purpose or meaning, is there universal truth, all these big things. So there are these big questions. Essentially, you're going to pick one or two of them that like is something that you really like, you think about all the time, or maybe you are exploring. I really feel like the last one right now, do individuals have obligations to or responsibility for others in society? We are literally practicing that right now. That's why we're social distancing, because we're being responsible. Anyway, so this stuff is super relevant. You don't have to get super heavy, but I think the last question is a great one. Some people really like to talk about happiness, like how we can be happy, what makes us happy. Like, is happiness what we think it is? So all sorts of things, because like Siddhartha realized that happiness was not about material items. It was about like finding serenity of self and like a confidence in who you are and just being in the world, So like, these are big things. It's big stuff that we think about a lot. So you're going to pick one or two if you can't pick one. And then you're going to establish in your introduction why that question matters to you and your past and your present, what your initial answer is to that question, and then present two or more differing answers to the question from ancient and or modern philosophers who talked about these things, whichever one you picked. And then in the body paragraphs, you'll examine different philosophers' answers to those questions. Include social, political, historical context. Make sure you have quotations in there. And then in your commentary, you should be analyzing the reasoning behind the ideas, the connections of events to that time, and then how they can be applied to now. In the conclusion, you're going to explain kind of how maybe, because you're going to put your answer, your first initial answer at the top, and then you do this research. And then at the end, you're going to be like, well, after all of this research, body paragraph research, this is what I came up with. This is actually like where my position is. It has changed, it's shifted, it's strengthened. Like I feel more confident in my position now because these super smart people supported my opinion. So then provide a little bit of evidence to support your new position, which will come from here. And discuss any social consequences when differing positions are applied to realities, so if-then scenarios. So like if we actually all believe that we should be responsible for one another, then where would COVID-19 be today? I don't know. That would be a thing worth exploring, right? So your first draft is due May 1st, your final draft is due May 8th. We're obviously going to take a lot of time. You're going to have a works cited page. This is absolutely a research paper. It is your last big paper of the year. Big, hard paper of the year. So that's introduced on Wednesday of next week. I ask you to do some things, read the slideshow, write some responses, all of that. And then, because I did this, I sort of introduced it last year. I have 3 different warm-up slides in the slideshow that are you listening to pop songs, and telling me what they're saying about some of these big questions. So the first one is a Rolling Stones song, You Can't Always Get What You Want. So you'll listen to it and then tell me what the singers are saying about desire and life. So that's your warm-up for Thursday. And then you're going to do slides 5 through 10, figuring out what your next steps are, start your research. There are these research note cards that Miss Tatro created. Here they are. Again, you'll make a copy of these. There is no place, once again, this is all for you. There's no place to, like, you're going to share it with me. I always am giving participation credit anytime you're sharing with me, sitting showing me that you're trying to work on stuff. But I'm not asking you to submit this document to Google Classroom. It's just for you to collect your research, So it's a place for you to put in like the philosopher, the source, background info, and all the stuff that you may need to write your research paper. And you will have your own so that you can do it. I know Finley has interrupted my video, so if you hear whining, it's not me, it's her. So that's Thursday. And then just to be nice, anytime you find a philosopher who explores your question, include them on this cool document that's shared with everybody. So if you were looking at what is reality and you find like a philosopher, you like put that person's name there, so that other people can be like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. And then some other tasks boxes you need to fill in. And then Friday, there's another song that I want you to listen to. It's a Nirvana song. I had like, there were lots of 90s songs. I would have picked all 90s songs, but I didn't. But I wanted to because they explored lots of existentialism, especially. And this one, Smells Like Teen Spirit, totally is talking about existentialism. Anyway, so you should check that out. And Friday, keep researching on your note cards. Yeah, this particular week is a lot of you researching, and how Miss Tatro and I are keeping track is whenever you do these step 3s and you tell us a little bit about what you have learned that week as you're researching, I mean. And then this particular document is the only thing actually due to Google Classroom on Friday. This one filled out. The note cards, the note taker for Monday and Tuesday, those are all for your researching purposes, so that you have the stuff you need to write a super cool essay. Okay. FYI, we will have class now every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So please be prepared for that. I can't make it mandatory because not everybody has access to the internet from their homes. And so I'm giving extra credit, and some of you need it desperately. Every time you come to class and you actually discuss things with me and share what you're working on, I'm giving you some extra credit. So you should come to class. I would really appreciate that. All right. Clearly, I am muted somewhere else. I miss you all horribly. This is how I have to work from now on. I really hope you're all doing okay and you're all healthy and safe. And just don't go anywhere, because I just want to go. I just want to leave. I want to get out of my house. I'm done. So if everybody can just like chill out and stop fighting and protesting, it'd be really great, so that we can all like move past this. Right on. Okay, love you. Email me if you need me. Bye.